Skyward Sword is a very divisive game in the Zelda franchise. Many on both sides of the argument either praise or loathe the motion control features. Though, with many focused on that argument, not many take the stand to point out the surface level things you couldn't miss in Skyward Sword. After experiencing the current state of affairs with Link and his peers in Skyloft, a few things occur. Zelda gets sucked into a tornado, Link learns he is chosen by the goddess, and finally we set out to start our journey in Faron Woods. Here, in our attempt to douse for Zelda, we end up finding the Kiwi tribe, who kindly lead us to Skyview Temple. This temple has complex ancestry and an extremely complex design, so let's see what you couldn't miss. As we enter Skyview Temple, the first corridor is guarded by a few keys, and on top of a ledge, one lone Deku Baba at its back. Comparedly to the Deku Babas we have seen before, this one is clearly a loner, and by the name of this temple, I think we know why. This Deku Baba must have come to Skyview Temple in hopes for a gated community with a view of the sky, allowing it to grow and propagate properly. However, due to it getting extremely lost, the lack of sunlight sent them into their emo era, spending the rest of their days secluded, guarding the switch that would have led them to the sunlight they sought out. For a first dungeon in Zelda, having a rising water level puzzle is extremely odd. In almost every other Zelda game, we typically see these puzzles, but never this early. The reason for this is actually quite simple. It was initially intended for the player to have to swim entirely with motion controls, so the water level puzzle was added to showcase this feature as soon as possible in the game. However, after many beta testers got life-altering injuries due to the breaststroke swimming required, an overhaul to swimming was done, leaving this early water segment as a remnant of the past. The mini-boss of Skyview Temple is the Stalfos. This enemy, while intimidating, is very odd. All they seem to do is guard with no hope of inflicting a counterattack. While at first this seems to be intentional, this is actually due to the Stalfos' reaction time. When measured, their visual reaction time is 500 milliseconds, leading them to take up a luck-based fighting style instead of reaction-based. In their mind, a 50% chance to block an attack is better than relying on their 500 millisecond reaction time. Though, unfortunately for them, they are so stuck in the gambler's fallacy, they cannot recognize that their luck-based fighting style is easily turned to 0% by anyone who is slightly patient and swings wisely. With the Stalfos defeated, we unlock a very unique and surprising item. The Golden Beetle is extremely unique when it comes to boomerang type items in Zelda, with the closest we see in other Zelda games being the Seagull pairs in Wind Waker. However, its uniqueness is not why we should be surprised. The crazy thing is that the Golden Beetle is Beetle's great-great-great-great-grandfather twice removed. The fact Beetle's ancestry is so diverse he has one of Link's items in his family line is pretty weird, but with Beetle's occupation being a merchant, it's not too surprising. The eye sentries that gate off chests in the dungeon are a really unique and interesting way to utilize the motion control features in Skyward Sword. However, while many attribute this mechanic's inspiration to Mario 64's Mr. Eye, it's actually inspired by carpal tunnel, where doing the same motion over and over can harm a person's body. As we reach the end of Skyview Temple, we come face to face with Girahim. While we don't know much about him yet, we do know he would have made it to Skyview Temple after or at the same time we did. This is due to the cutscene we see of him in Faron Woods moments prior. Though the oddity is that majority of the doors in this dungeon were locked with keys, leaving Girahim little to no time to get ahead of us, assuming he's using the same path we took. His ability to reach this chamber before us implies there are two 1-to-1 mirrored interiors of Skyview Temple, one of which we were in and the other Girahim was in. Knowing this, it's no wonder Girahim got through the puzzles faster than us, because with his innate projectile magic abilities, he was able to sequence break the Golden Beetle entirely to get to the final sanctum much quicker than we could ever hope to. And that is the end of this video. If you enjoyed, you know what to do.